you were daddy's girl. Just because you asked a question and then he gave the answer, then you lost contact?
We never stayed in contact with each other. Like, he's been, ever since he's told me 11 years ago that you may be my daughter.
Right now a day, and I've been hoping 24 years. Same thing, and I've been one mustard seed about this little girl right here. But I tell you this right now, I hope to God this is, I do.
So often, I can't have them. Is she
we
gonna let me
bring them whenever he wants. I bought the car and put the gas in just to bring him, bruh. And you ask for rides away from him. Get out of here, bruh. Yes, say I'm lying.
Buckle up. Mr. Jenkins strides into court with a claim that could fill a soap opera episode. He thinks he has a long-lost daughter, and he's here to prove it. As he stands before the judge, brimming with hope and a stack of emotions, he kicks off what promises to be an unforgettable court drama. You won't believe what's up next.
You reached out to the court to open a case. You believe that you have a long-lost daughter and hope to one day find her to prove you are father. So we've located the woman you believe is your daughter, and she's here in court today.
Get ready for a twist. Here comes Ms. Bond, the woman Mr. Jenkins swears is his daughter. She steps into the courtroom with a mix of confusion and skepticism, setting the stage for a showdown that could be straight out of a movie. Watch as the plot thickens when they dive into the nitty-gritty.
So Ron, can you please escort Ms. Bond into the courtroom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Stand behind the left podium.
Thank you for joining us, Ms. Bond. So, before the court contacted you.
Now, here's where it gets spicy. Ms. Bond whips out her birth certificate like a trump card, pointing out the glaring absence of Mr. Jenkins' name. Her disbelief is palpable, and she's armed with paperwork to prove her point. But stick around, because Mr. Jenkins' comeback is just around the corner.
I also like to submit this as evidence. His name isn't even on my birth.
You don't believe he's your father because you've never heard of him?
No one has ever spoken of him. I've never seen any pictures. My mother never even spoke of him. No conversations whatsoever.
So this is your birth certificate?
Yes.
Under father's legal name, nothing is recorded.
Talk about a plot twist. Mr. Jenkins pours his heart out, claiming a lifelong connection to Ms. Bond based on a whirlwind college romance with her mom. His story has all the makings of a blockbuster: romance, lost love, and a mystery child. Grab your popcorn, because this emotional roller coaster is just picking up speed.
I've been looking for her over 24 years, Your Honor. Me and her mother was in college together. I'm telling you, she was banging. I mean, she had a nice big back porch on, and she used to wear this little black hat with an X on. I mean, you know, that was like, she was like Lena Horne to me. She was fine, light brown eyes.
Hold the phone. Mr. Jenkins pulls out an ultrasound picture, claiming he was there every step of the pregnancy. This blast from the past is his proof, and he's laying it all on the line. The courtroom's reaction is priceless, so don't go anywhere. The best is yet to come.
You've saved all these years.
Over 24 years, I've been saving that picture right there.
If you guys were so close, so in love and everything, why did it take you so long to find me?
I've been doing everything I can do, promise me.
Cue the waterworks. Ms. Bond shares her heart-wrenching story of loss and struggle, from losing her parents to fighting homelessness. Her tale could tug on the heartstrings of a stone statue. The courtroom is hanging on every word, and what happens next will tug even harder.
I lost my mother and my father, and I didn't have anybody, and I struggle, and I'm homeless, trying to get my children, and I have no one on my side, and I just feel so alone. I feel like a part of me is really missing.
How many children do you have?
I have 2 sons.
Here comes the knight in shining armor, or so he claims. Mr. Jenkins steps up, promising to be the dad Ms. Bond never had. His declaration is as dramatic as a season finale cliffhanger. But can he walk the talk? Stay tuned, because you ain't seen nothing yet.
Excuse me, Your Honor, she got me. You know, you don't have to worry about that. My job is to protect you and to love you, to show you how a man's supposed to treat you.
I missed that growing up. I didn't have a father figure to tell me, you know, right from wrong. I made a lot of mistakes because I didn't have anyone there to guide me.
This guy's dedication could win awards. Mr. Jenkins details his epic quest to find Ms. Bond, involving social media sleuthing and more. His story is part gumshoe detective, part hopeless romantic. The next revelation is just around the bend, and it's a doozy.
I did everything I could do. I've been looking for you over 24 years. That's one of your numbers that I have. I had contacted Ms. Bond before.
I've never received a call.
Was that your phone?
I've never got a text.
I've been Googling her, all these different sites. I've been doing all of this.
I don't understand. You've done all this, still couldn't find me. I don't understand.
Fasten your seatbelts. Mr. Jenkins recounts the saga of lost connections and missed opportunities that could rival any teleseries. His tales of near misses and what ifs fill the courtroom, setting the stage for a revelation that might just break the internet, or at least the emotional barometer in the room.
So when you left your phone number, Ms. Bond's mother called you back?
Yes, she called.
Did you make contact? Did you see her again?
No, I didn't.
She would have been around 8 years old?
I talked to her on the phone, and she said, in the next week or so, I'll let you see Andrea. A week later, I called her back at that number. Bad news that she ended up in a bad car accident.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The results are in, and the DNA doesn't lie.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Jenkins, you are her father.
The courtroom buzzes with anticipation as the episode begins. Two brothers could be the father. Two brothers with the same name could be the biological father.
Two brothers could be the father. Two brothers with the same name could be the biological father. This is a lot. It really is.
When he came to me and he told me that he was my dad, I went to family members and I asked them, did you know that there was a possibility?
The audience collectively gasps as the revelations keep rolling in. Boone reveals that after being told someone might be his father, he went to family members to see if they had any idea. Turns out, even though no one was saying it outright back then, everyone believed there was a good chance it was true. Just when it seems like the pieces are coming together, another twist barrels down the track.
Michael Shockley, you still believe you Desiree's biological father. You believe that.
She's always been my little girl, so she'll never not be my little girl. But I have all girls and he's got all boys. All boys and one girl.
As the family dynamics start to unravel, the story only gets more complex. Judge Lake delves into the family structure, pointing out that Mike has all girls with Desiree being the middle child. Meanwhile, Steve has mostly boys, with just one daughter who clearly holds a special place. The setup hints that something big is about to be revealed, and it's going to leave everyone stunned.
Mike, you say you have all girls. 3 girls, and Desiree's right there in the middle. Steve, you have all boys.
Yes, Your Honor.
5 boys.
And one daughter.
He's serious about that one daughter. This shows basically that I guess Mr. Shockley makes boys, not girls.
The courtroom grows tense as the next witness is called to the stand. Michael Shockley brings forward a key witness, his daughter, who steps up to the podium. Presence signals that this paternity case is about to take another dramatic turn. The anticipation is palpable as the courtroom waits to hear her perspective, knowing it could flip the entire case upside down.
Ms. Dennis, what relationship are you to the defendant? And you are here, I'm sure, because you have now learned about this entire paternity question. Have you ever had any doubt? Your whole life growing up, you knew Desiree to be your sister.
Yes.
The emotional stakes rise as Desiree discusses the strain paternity revelation has placed on her relationship with her sister. The close bond they once shared is now tested, and the emotional toll is evident. The tension builds as the family struggles to navigate this new reality, and the audience braces for the emotional impact of what's coming next.
It doesn't make sense. Why would you wait 20 years to come up and say something? Why? That hurt us more than anything. Why did you wait?
I mean, like I said a while ago, I would have told her I could have if they hadn't kept her from me. She was my little girl. She's my daughter.
So Desiree, when you hear this, share the same mother and the same father.
Desiree reflects on how deeply she feels that Steve is her father, but acknowledges that ever since the revelation, her relationship with Mike has become distant. The emotional complexity of the situation is clear as they struggle with the fallout. Just when it seems like the story has reached its peak, it intensifies even further, pulling the audience deeper into the drama.
In my heart, I feel like Steve is. When he told me that, after that, we lost contact a lot.
Wait, you were a daddy's girl just because you asked a question and then he gave the answer, then you lost contact?
We never stayed in contact with each other. Like, he's been, ever since he's told me 11 years ago that you may be my daughter.
The moment everyone has been waiting for approaches as the DNA results are about to be revealed. Years of secrecy and decades of questions have led to this point, and the anticipation in the room is almost unbearable. The unsolved puzzle pieces are about to finally come together, and the weight of it all is heavy as the audience holds its breath.
He's the chief science officer at DNA Diagnostics, the laboratory which handles all of our testing. And I just want to make sure we are clear, because when we get down to I want everybody to understand why it is absolute truth.
Emotions are at an all-time high as Michael Shockley expresses his hopes, showing just how much he cares, regardless of the outcome. His wish for his daughter's happiness above all else adds a deeply touching layer to the story. What's coming next is sure to tug at the heartstrings, and the audience might need to have a tissue ready.
Even if it does show it, I know what step I have to take next. I mean, and I'm gonna be the best uncle she's ever had. Yes, Your Honor. I hope she's my daughter, but she'll be my little girl always. You know, that we'll always have that. I just hope whatever the decision is makes her happy.
The courtroom falls into a hush as the final results are about to be disclosed. The judge receives the envelope, and the atmosphere is thick with suspense.
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Steve Shockley.
Yes! Baby.
Here's where it gets spicy. Ms. Johnson lays out her case, adamant that the defendant's late brother is the father of her son, driving home her years of emotional turmoil and quest for clarity. Strap in, because the emotional roller coaster is just getting started.
And after years of pain and suffering, you've petitioned the core DNA test to answer the question your son Damien has had all his life. Who is my father. You believe the defendant's deceased brother, Mr. Damian Ellerson, is the answer, and the DNA results prove that today.
Yes, Your Honor.
You won't believe the curveball here. Ms. Fortune voices her skepticism, pointing to Ms. Johnson's colorful romantic history, yet acknowledges the game-changing potential of today's DNA test results. Keep your eyes peeled. The next twist is a doozy.
Ms. Fortuné, you claim your brother cannot bother because Ms. Johnson has admitted to sleeping with other men. If today's results prove he is the dad, he would be his only biological child.
Yes, Your Honor.
Grab your tissues. Ms. Johnson starts her heartfelt testimony, detailing her deep emotional ties to the alleged father and how his absence has cast a long shadow over her and her son's life. The plot thickens in just a moment, and it's a page turn.
Damian, he was my first love. I would do anything for him. We were all the time. And I know in my heart he is his father.
And you say it was your first love.
Just his energy, his smile, like he didn't have a care in the world.
Tears alert in the courtroom. Ms. Johnson gets choked up reminiscing about the alleged father, making everyone reach for the tissue as she details their past filled with love and loss. But hang tight, because the next revelation is even more startling.
It makes you emotional to see, sister?
It does, because I'd give anything to have him. I miss him all the time.
I'll go to you, Fortunate.
Here's where the plot twists. Ms. Fortune sheds light on how her family first suspected her brother might be entangled in this paternity puzzle, peeling back layers of family drama and secrets. Fasten your seatbelts. We're heading into more turbulent revelations.
I found that out through my mother. She says possibility that Damon have a child, and so they were supposed to get the DNA. It was like my mom wanted to know, and then my mom didn't want to know. She never came and told us. He was already old enough.
You won't see this coming. A clandestine DNA test throws everyone for a loop, misidentifying another potential father when Damian was 13, thanks to a no-show in court. And guess what? It's about to get even wilder from here.
He waited until a week before his 13th birthday, a DNA test done at home. My son comes home, Mom, my dad stuck a Q-tip in my mouth and said he was checking to see if I had any diseases. And I said, no, son, a DNA test is what he did.
Just when you thought it was already complex, Ms. Johnson admits to multiple potential fathers over the years, illustrating her desperate search for a stable father figure for her son. The drama isn't slowing down. Next up is even more jaw-dropping.
And so, Ms. Johnson, you remember that day, and at some point, did you get the result?
Yes, and it came back that he wasn't his.
And then he just stopped talking to me. He just, left me.
Ellerson is Damian's biological father.
Yes.
Because the other two gentlemen are not possibilities.
Right.
This encounter is a real eyebrow raiser. Damian talks about his minimal and unsatisfying interaction with the defendant's family, which did little to solve the mystery of his paternity. Brace yourself. The emotional stakes are about to get higher.
I met him once when I was 12 or 13. I think. Took me to the park.
You're right. I forgot all about that, yes.
This testimony is a game changer. A statement from Ms. Fortune's mother contradicts earlier claims about the family's awareness of the paternity issue, adding a layer of doubt and confusion. Don't go anywhere. The next part adds even more spice to the story.
Ms. Johnson, gave her pictures and stuff. My brother's son. My mom believed it, kinda. It was just too emotional.
Your mother was unable to be here today. Did send a statement to the court.
You'll need to sit down for this one. Suddenly, there's another man on the radar who might be Damian's father, stirring up the courtroom with fresh drama and possibilities. The revelations keep piling up, so stay tuned for another twist.
Oh, so are you testifying that you believe your cousin, not brother, be Damian's biological father? You did sleep with Mr. Ellerson's cousin?
Yes, I did.
Well, that cousin is here, and I think we need to hear.
This revelation will knock your socks off.
I believe in this court record, you then told your son there was another possible father.
Yes.
Mr. Slaughter.
Yes.
Buckle up, folks. We're diving right into the deep end. Miss Kelly explains her reason for being in court: to determine the paternity of her biological father in hopes that he can walk her down the aisle. She's hoping for a fairy tale ending, mixed with a healthy dose of courtroom drama. You'll want to keep your eyes peeled for what's next.
Miss Kelly, you are here to determine one of two men we tested for paternity is your biological father. You hope to leave this courtroom today knowing father's identity so he can walk you down the aisle at your wedding.
Yes, Your Honor.
You won't believe this twist. A second potential father, Mr. Anthony, pops into the scene, utterly shocked to be considered as a father after Miss Kelly's surprise visit. The plot thickens with every revelation, stirring up a storm of emotions and suspense. Stick around, the curveballs are just getting started.
Mr. Anthony, he claims he was shot just a few months ago, pulled up at his doorstep and broke the news to him that he could also be. Talk to us about the journey you've been on trying to find out who your biological father is.
Here's a story you've got to hear. Miss Kelly shares her poignant background, painting a vivid picture of being raised by her her grandparents and grappling with identity issues due to her mixed heritage. This backstory sets the stage for her quest for truth, making every moment count. The roller coaster of revelations is far from over, folks.
My grandparents started raising me. I noticed that I was different because they're white and I was brown. Grandmother used to get awkward looks. My grandfather, he got killed when I was 10. So not having that male influence in my life, I started to act out, get in trouble at school. That's when Lariat thought it would be a good idea.
Grab some popcorn. Mr. Duncan's taking the floor. Mr. Duncan reflects on his joy and the speck of doubt Miss Kelly reached out to. His narrative adds layers of complexity and hope to the unfolding drama. The stakes are high and the next reveal is a doozy.
Oh, I was happy. I was proud, to have a look, to have a child. I might have had a little doubt because at that she was living with a guy. She was a nice looking girl and I was a little bit older, and maybe it might have been wrong, but she was real pretty. I'm trying to bring over to my side, but she's living with another guy.
Just when you think you've seen it all, Mr. Duncan lays his heart on the line, hoping beyond hope that Miss Kelly is his daughter. His declaration is charged with emotion and long-held dreams. As the tension builds, get ready for an emotional whirlwind just around the corner.
So when you got the call, you said to yourself, I remember who this is, of course, and you would be happy if this young woman is my daughter.
Right now a day, and I've been hoping 24 years. Same thing, and I've been one mustard seed about this little girl right here. But I tell you this right now, I hope to God this is, I do.
This next part is a real kicker. Miss Kelly's mother recounts the nerve-wracking introductions of her daughter to the potential dads, setting off a chain reaction of personal disclosures and emotional reckonings. The saga deepens, and what comes next will tug at your heartstrings.
Like I said, I was young when I had her. I made some mistakes, and my mom wound up wanting to step to the plate and raise her. She's seen everything happen, so she started being rebellious towards my mom, and everything showed out in school and all. And I knew it was time. My mom never wanted her to know who her father was, and I knew I had to. She's mine, and I went to her house one day and I took and picked her up.
Tissue alert. Mr. Duncan shares the harsh whispers and doubts cast by neighbors, underscoring the personal toll of paternity uncertainty. This segment is a tearjerker, filled with raw emotion and societal pressures. Keep watching. The drama intensifies from here.
Me and Miss Kelly had spent some time together, and I took her, and that's her father come out, and I ain't gonna say what the words was, but they wasn't no good words. So I told him, I said, well, they can come stay with me. I had my own house, I had my own land, I had a good job, I had a good car, and I wasn't that bad looking.
Moment of truth incoming. The court unveils that.
In the case of Kelly, Duncan, Anthony, when it comes to Destiny Kelly, Mr. Duncan, you are not her father. I'm sorry to you both. I know how much you wanted it.
Here's a jaw-dropper to kick things off. The case blasts off with the plaintiff, Mr. Wiseman, lighting into his old buddy and now roommate, Mr. New, accusing him of the ultimate bro-code betrayal, sneaking around with his girlfriend. This isn't just soap opera stuff. It's led to a full-blown paternity circus over his toddler son, Brett. The judge dives into the muck, prodding Mr. Wiseman to spill the tea on how this messy situation unfolded, with Mr. Wiseman laying out the saga. It's more twisted than a pretzel. Buckle up, because the ride gets even wilder from here.
Say the defendant was a good friend of yours and you let him move into your home. You claim he repaid your generosity by sleeping with your girlfriend. Now you're both here locked in a paternity dispute over which of you fathered 2-year-old Brett Wiseman. Mr. New, you claim when you first moved in, your relationship with Mr. Wiseman's girlfriend was strictly a friendship.
Yes.
Can you believe he dropped that bombshell? Mr. Wiseman unwraps the sordid details of how he stumbled upon the scandalous affair between Mr. New and his girlfriend. Family whispers and eyebrow-raising closeness confirmed his worst fears. The sly Mr. New slid into more than just the friend zone after hearing tales of Mr. Wiseman's supposed neglect. Strap in, because what comes next will flip the script.
Somebody in her family came and told me. Pretty much told me, like, if you can't see it, because, I mean, it was just too close of becoming too close of friends. Finally told me, like, look, we know for a fact that they've been doing stuff together. So that's how I found out.
And you had no idea?
No.
Things are heating up now, aren't they? As the courtroom's temperature rises, Mr. New takes a swing at defending his actions, claiming he was rescuing the damsel from Mr. Wiseman's less than chivalrous ways. The squabble escalates until the judge steps in, laying down the law and warning Mr. New to keep his cool or hit the road. Get ready.
I had suspicions because, you know, like, there'd be certain times, like, they wouldn't know I was coming over, the water hose all sitting there getting each other wet, all hugged up, and then when I would walk.
That was when me and her was already together.
No.
She was at her grandma's house. Lie again. Because he cheated on her so many times and she was letting it go.
She's
Knew
the
about
cheater,
it and
just
all
like
that.
that's why he's so protected, because you have to be with her. Because if you ain't stuck up her butt 24/7, she gonna go to the next man.
Wait till you hear this whopper of a confession. Amidst the courtroom's growing tension, Mr. New tries to plead his case but keeps tripping over his words. Enter Miss Duncan via video link, dropping a bomb that she's pregnant again, and guess what? Baby daddy drama just doubled because she was playing musical chairs with both men when Brett was conceived. Hang hang on to your seat because the next revelations are juicier.
What happened, Your Honor?
When you talk, say it respectfully.
I will.
Keep cursing and you be gone. I'm just serious. I'm not gonna tolerate it. Tell me, how did you start a relationship? I guess, was it Mr. Wiseman's girlfriend or ex at the time?
When we first slept together, I don't know how to say it without cussing.
You're not going to believe what she admits next. Miss Duncan tries to untangle the web of her love life, confessing she juggled romances with both Mr. Wiseman and Mr. New around baby Brett's bake time. Her candid spill paints a Picasso of complicated relationship dynamics that's as confusing as a calculus exam. The pot's about to boil over. Just watch.
You're admitting that you slept with Mr. New while you were still in a relationship, albeit rocky, with Mr. Wiseman. And so once you found out you were pregnant.
I told Jeremiah because at the time I wasn't really talking to Tyler.
So you told Mr. Wiseman first because after you slept with Mr. New, then you weren't speaking to, because you were still with Mr. Wiseman.
The plot thickens, and boy, does it thicken. The courtroom drama deepens as Miss Duncan voices regret and confusion over her roller coaster relationships that have thrown everyone into this paternity quandary. The judge probes Mr. Wiseman on his reactions to the pregnancy bombshell, stirring doubts about his daddy status. Next up, the emotional thermostat gets cranked up even higher.
I definitely was happy, but I had doubts, you know what I mean? Our relationship.
Had you found out about Mr. New before you found out Miss Duncan was pregnant or after?
Kind of before. I mean, I was being told by her family that they was sleeping together.
So you heard the rumors?
Yeah.
She told you she was pregnant. Did you say, I'm the father? Did she say, and you're the father?
The twists just don't stop coming. As they hash out who did what and when, Mr. New drops a newsflash. He's not just playing house. He's engaged to Miss Duncan, and there's another bun in the oven. The layers of this lasagna just keep stacked. Peek through your fingers if you must, because the next scene is a real cliffhanger.
Brett's old enough, I bet he does, because I'm the only one does anything for him.
Because if it comes that he's mine, you ain't even gonna see him.
I support your kids.
He's not
I buy
gonna
your
not
kids
see
school
him.
clothes, bruh.
I said you're not gonna be able to stop Tyler if he comes back yours. I'm pregnant and we're engaged to be married.
This next reveal is a game changer. The judge tries to navigate the murky waters of this family fiasco, especially now that Mr. Wiseman is doubting his paternity thanks to a tangled web of whispered accusations. It's like a daytime drama with a side of suspense. Prepare yourself. The revelations just keep escalating.
It's just a possibility, you know, when you get told that there's a possibility that it ain't yours, I mean, can you do?
So you've been told that there is a possibility the child is not yours.
Yeah.
And you've been told that by Miss Duncan.
Yeah.
Grab your popcorn. Here comes more drama. Just when you think it couldn't get more theatrical, Miss Duncan's sister strides into the courtroom to testify, aiming to stitch some sense into this patchwork of paternity. The tale of who's been daddy dearest and who's been a wallet warrior paints a vivid picture of the everyday chaos in Brett's life. Don't go anywhere. This next part is a barn burner.
The who father is, because if it does come back Mr. Wiseman is my nephew's father, and I think he needs to be there more financially, emotionally, and all that, because Mr. New has been there for the last year
and a
through
half.
it all.
I mean, she's the one now telling me they were sleeping together.
Watch as the sparks really start to fly. The barbs fly faster as Mr. Wiseman and Mr. New exchange accusations and denials, almost drowning out the real issue, little Brett's future. The judge wrestles the conversation back to the matter at hand, trying to anchor this ship amidst the stormy seas of personal attacks. The fuse is lit, and the next explosion is just moments away.
So often, I can't have him. Is she
we
gonna let
bring
me
them
let me have
whenever
him
he
every day?
wants. I bought the car and put the gas in just to bring him, bruh. And you ask for rides away from him. Get out of here,
No.
bruh. Yes.
Bro.
Say I'm lying. We just
You're
said
lying,
did
'cause I
this.
just recently, my car recently
Your
broke
car,
down.
you ain't got no car.
Okay.
Your dad was letting you use a
No.
car, bruh. You ain't got no job, no money.
You don't got, what are you doing? I was
I'm
just
supporting
recently
your
working
kids.
Everyone's on the edge of their seats now. The atmosphere is electric as the judge prepares to unveil the DNA results, a moment loaded with as much potential energy as a rocket launch. Everyone's bracing, knowing these results will either cement bonds or blow them to bits. The envelope, please. And trust me, you'll want to be sitting down for this.
No, the woman has sat here and testified that she slept with both of you during the window of conception as it relates to the paternity, and any child that doesn't know for certain who their father is in a difficult position. I think it's time for the result. It has been determined that the biological father is Mr. Wiseman.
Bet he don't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Can you believe the drama unfolding here? Ms. McNair is under fire by Mr. Travis's cousin, who accuses her of using slick manipulation tactics on Mr. Travis concerning the paternity of her child, Mariah. The cousin, desperate for the truth, pleads with the court to intervene because Mr. Travis, completely love-struck, signed the birth certificate without any paternity confirmation. What's up next? You won't want to miss the fallout.
Ms. Brown, you state you have begged and pleaded with your cousin to open today's case because being lied to and taken advantage of by Ms. McNair. You say he's so blinded by the love that he signed her child's birth certificate, and you don't believe he's the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on to your popcorn. This part's a real tearjerker. Mr. Travis pours his heart out, expressing his profound emotional bond with Mariah, describing her as his entire universe. Despite his deep affection and the pivotal role he plays in her life, doubts about his biological connection, fueled by family whispers and mismatched timeline, gnaw at him. Brace yourself. The emotional roller coaster is just getting started.
Mr. Travis, you say you love defendant's 22-month daughter, Mariah, but you now fear she may not be your child.
Yes, Your Honor.
Buckle up, here she goes. Ms. McNair launches into a fervent defense against the accusations, staunchly asserting her fidelity to Mr. Travis. She claims that the disruptive cousin is trying to wreck their family. She's convinced Mr. Travis is the dad and is eager to prove it and kick the cousin to the curb. Watch as the plot thickens.
You say family has been torn apart by Mr. Travis's meddling, and you claim you are certain he fathered your daughter, and you want to prove paternity and get his cousin out of your life.
Yes, Your Honor.
You'll need to sit down for this one. Mr. Travis recalls a time back in December 2015 when he was away, and during his absence, he was hit with the bombshell news from his cousin that Ms. McNair might have been playing the field. This seed of doubt sprouts into a thorny issue about Mariah's paternity. The evidence up next is a real game changer.
I went away 2015 in December. While I was gone, I actually talked to my cousin, Tiara. Miss Anitra was pregnant.
She told you Ms. McNair had been intimate with other people, cheating,
and got pregnant.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, a video surfaces, courtesy of Mr. Travis's cousin, allegedly catching Ms. McNair in some rather questionable antics, claimed to be solid proof of her infidelity. This video cranks up the courtroom tension to new heights. The upcoming face-off, absolutely must-see TV.
Tiara, where your proof at, baby?
I have with each other.
Can she show me the proof?
Your Honor, I saw a video of how I'm seeing her. Your Honor.
that shows how you caught her cheating.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's take a look at that.
The room's about to explode. The controversial video is played, showcasing Ms. McNair's comings and goings with various mystery drivers, which, according to Mr. Travis's cousin, points straight to cheating. Ms. McNair fiercely refutes this, claiming the footage and allegations are twisted. The next scene is a doozy.
She's getting picked up right there. Men are dropping her off and picking her up. From my window, you see getting in cars, going back up to her house, and you see the cars that's coming in.
So you
can see firsthand getting in and out of.
Are you a stalker?
And that looked like a pretty good view.
Yes, it is a pretty good view.
Things just got spicy. In a fiery exchange, Ms. McNair tries to explain her late-night rendezvous with other men, which only throws more fuel on the fire of doubt regarding her loyalty during Mr. Travis's absence. The trust here is hanging by a thread. The revelations that follow will knock your socks off.
Lonely enough to come out the house at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
So why does it have to be with a guy? Why not the girlfriend, someone, family member? Why a guy?
I have girlfriends. It's just different guy friends.
Only thing at 1 or 2 o'clock.
Because you see what you, baby.
Yeah.
Record some
I
of the
never
females
seen
that I
them.
have friends with.
And just when you think you've seen it all, Mr. Travis's cousin whips out a calendar, attempting to debunk the timeline of Mariah's conception against Mr. Travis's whereabouts. This piece of evidence suggests the math just doesn't add up, deepening the paternity mystery. Get ready, because the truth bomb that drops next is epic.
My cousin, he went away in December. We found out in February, early March. Mariah is born in October.
The time just don't add up, Your Honor.
You count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10. That'd be 11 months. A
You need to
window
mind your
of
business, baby. You need to
conception.
find you something to do and talk about besides me and my relationship.
Grab a tissue, folks. It's crunch time. The climax hits as the DNA test results are unveiled.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Travis, you are not the father.